Well, she moved to New York in the United States after winning the Miss Universe crown late last year. But like just about everyone who's been affected by restrictions related to COVID-19 globally, even this queen has to make some adjustments. As South Africans remain under lockdown, one of our most prized exports is also under a stay-at-home order and the epicenter of the virus in America. Miss Universe Zozibini Tunzi joins us now via Skype. Good evening and welcome to The Full View. I was asking myself that how do I address you? Do I address you as Miss Universe, or do I address you as Zozibini Tunzi, or do I say Miss Universe Zozibini?
You know what? I go by all of those. It's still me. So whatever makes you feel comfortable, we can go with that.
I think for now, let's do the Miss Universe. So what does Miss Universe do under a lockdown?
It's quite crazy because, you know, a lot of people know that part of my job is traveling, seeing a lot of countries and just doing projects in those countries. And so because this happened, it's a bit of a hindrance to what a Miss Universe usually does. But I think we're so fortunate to be living in a digital world, so I can able to do some things even if I'm sitting at home on my couch or on my bed. I can still, you know, reach out to people and be able to do part of my job through social media. So that's what I've been doing right now. We have a campaign, #UniverseUnited, where we have people all around the world telling us about their stories. You know, I'm so fortunate enough to have family, so I'm able to call my family whenever I'm feeling down or getting a bit of anxiety. But there's people who don't have that. They're not fortunate enough. So we created this platform so that we can become those people's families, so that they can share their stories with us. They can share their struggles and their successes with us. And we're also using the platform to highlight women who are doing incredible things during this time, and just incredible things around the world, because we don't stop taking up space just because we are socially distancing. So I'm still encouraging them to take up space wherever they are and to use whatever resources they have. And also us just using the Miss Universe platform to shine light on women who are doing this incredible thing.
I think what's important as well to note is just a few minutes ago rather, that the Miss Universe handle, the Twitter handle, tweeted a video of you speaking about kindness and just the level of generosity that we've witnessed during this period as well.
Yes, you know, kindness is one of the most important things, because people ask me a lot, what is it that I can do in this time to help people? And I know that a lot of people might not have funds or are not able to put financial backing to these problems. I know that some people do. And those people that do have the finances, we do ask them to please donate where they can. I know there's a lot of people struggling in the country and just across the world not being able to put food on the table, which is why I always say, if you can, give where you can. You know, look for all these relief platforms that we can use to help feed these people. But if you can't, your kindness and just who you are genuinely can help someone. You never know who you might help with your story and just, you know, sharing a smile. And on that video, I believe I did say now is the time more than ever for people to unite. Now is that time to show that kindness, to show that selflessness, you know, to stop thinking about ourselves and putting other people before us sometimes. Because in as much as you want to go out and see people, stay at home, you know, think about the people, be selfless enough to know that you're not alone in the world. There's people struggling. So let's work together in trying to help each other, and just trying to help the world. We're just trying to save the world at this point by just staying home, by sharing that kindness, by sharing those stories, and by giving where we can.
And important to this as well, I guess, is that sense of community that we're experiencing now. A lot of people who are donating, a lot of people who are reaching out to those who are less fortunate. But also in the video you speak about that this is something you wish would continue even after COVID-19, that it will become part of our culture.
Of course. I mean, it's shown me so much how we can work together. It's shown me so much how we're so tolerant of each other during this time. And I feel like it's something that shouldn't stop when this ends, because we are capable of it. We are capable of working together and showing each other that tolerance and that kindness, and just listening to each other and sharing in each other's cultures and stories. So I do hope that when this ends, that doesn't stop. I don't want to say a good thing came out of such a horrible thing, but it kind of did. You know, we were kind of able to work together more than we actually ever have. We listen to each other more than we actually ever have. We're learning about each other. And I think that's quite an incredible thing, that humility and that humanity shouldn't stop this end.
And with that said, what would your message then be to global leaders themselves who have a crucial role to play in trying to curb the spread of this virus?
Absolutely. My one thing is listen to the people. First and foremost, that's one of the greatest qualities of leaders. Listen to the people, and this is not a joke. It's not a rumor. You know, there's people across the world who are still treating this as if it's something that's not real, as if it's hearsay. And I love what happened in the country yesterday when the Minister of Health came forward with Prof. Karim,
yes.
and they were just so honest in their delivery in telling us where we are as a country and telling us how it looks like in the future and where we have been. And I think a lot of countries need to adopt that, to be honest with the people in their countries, to let them know where they are, to let them know what they can do in order to help. So that's one of the things that I would encourage them to do, you know, honesty and transparency. It just lifts up that anxiety from people. It makes them feel so much better, knowing that our governments know what they're talking about, that they know what they're doing. And yeah, just that honesty and transparency, I think, is very important. And it's something that should be adopted throughout the world.
You're currently in a country that has now recorded the highest number of positive cases, also being in a city, New York, which has the highest numbers of deaths in the USA, just over 10,000. When you go to sleep, do you fear at all that something horrible could happen to you and you're thousands and thousands of miles away from your loved ones?
You know, I don't, because I try very much to be indoors. I've always been indoors since I actually came back from my trip in Indonesia weeks ago. It's almost a month now since I haven't really left the house. I mean, I am fearful for my life, just like everyone else is, because this is serious. But I try to take precautions as much as I can, you know, putting on my gloves, washing my hands, if I went to the shop to, you know, buy bread. But I think this is a time to not feel so anxious, because I have family and I have this virtual global community that I'm in now. It makes me feel so much better about my health and myself. So mentally, I am in a good place because of those things, you know, because of family and just keeping up with people, even people who don't know me that have been checking up on me. There's been so many people asking how I'm doing. And I think that as well has helped me so much. So hope, we have hope right now. And it's one thing that I have that keeps me sane.
And I think that your family WhatsApp group is also keeping you sane. When we speak about Akaya, tell us about what happened in that family WhatsApp group.
Which time? There's been so many.
Well, let's say the latest one where Akaya, who is, I think, is the admin of the group, decided to remove certain people.
Ayaka's my little sister. So she sent in a message on the group. I actually don't remember what it was about, but she sent in a message and none of us responded to it. And she got so mad. I think she asked us once. And then the second time around, she was like, I'm not playing with you guys. You're gone. And she just removed everyone. And we all had to call her individually to apologize in order to get back onto the group. So, we did our part in apologizing and she let us back in. But yeah, she's quite a bossy one, that one. We appreciate her.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, so now you know that the family feuds in WhatsApp groups, there's nobody who's exempted when it comes to the family feuds in WhatsApp groups, not at all. But in closing, one important conversation to be had as well, and something that you tweeted about, is gender-based violence and the stats that were released by the minister, which eventually were corrected as well. But the stats around gender-based violence and what your message is to the president as well as the leadership of this country.
Yeah, so it's actually so funny that you asked me that, because this morning I was having a conversation with Anne, a representative from UN Women. We were having a live on the Miss Universe page, and we were speaking about how we've noticed how people are telling women to leave the houses and to get out and to try and find shelter. And the one thing that she said that stuck with me, which I thought was incredible, was, why are we asking women to leave when we can be asking men to actually be the ones to leave? if they can't be in that situation. And I think that was just such a nice perspective to start calling out on these men to be the ones that are doing their job and actually keeping, their part in making sure that women are safe today. So really my message is I'm highly disappointed at the stats that are coming in. I'm highly disappointed that I'm even here sitting to you talking about the safety of women when we have to deal with what we're dealing with now. We have to beg people to sort of treat women right the way that they should. And it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting, but to the governments, I really do encourage them as well to look into it. I know a lot of gender equality and gender-based violence issues are not an essential at this moment, and my plea to them would be to actually try and make them essential. Make them essential needs for women to actually, be able to reach out to these places.
Just a final one that has come to my mind now is, as we speak about taking up space, as we speak about being a proud African as well, is what's happening in China, where there have been allegations of African people being discriminated against by the Chinese population, although there are investigations around this. I'd just like a message from you. What do we say to Africans who find themselves in those spaces where they are being discriminated against? And what do we say to the leadership of those communities?
It's so saddening. I actually saw that in the papers yesterday, and I thought to myself, we lack so much in humanity as the human race. We've had problems of racism for a very long time, and it's something that's still happening. Xenophobia, something that is still happening. So it's not really specific to China. It's specific to a lot of other countries as well who do this. And my message to leadership is that they can do better. They need to do so much better in showing humanity to people who are different from them, because you'll find most of the time that we are so much more, alike than we are different, and we need to find those likeliness between all of us. And so my message to leadership is they can do so much better in educate people about being tolerant towards people who are different to us. We make up a part of such a huge world, and if we don't continue to work together, then this whole world is just going to a place of non-existence. And so for me is do better as leaders as well, show people leadership towards showing tolerance towards people. It's very sad what's happening to my African brothers and sisters in China, but my message to you is, stay strong. We love you. We are here for you. And also to the countries of the people that are in those countries, try, get them back home. Try getting them back to safety. And I feel like we all should pull together and do what we can to make sure that everyone is safe wherever they are.
Thank you so much for that, Zozibini Tunzi, Miss Universe. Thank you so much for that. And that's the reigning Miss Universe joining us from New York. We really appreciate your conversation. Let's go to a quick ad break. The full view